but no knocking here, with feet firmly on the ground. If you're going to come to Northern Ireland, then you've got to come here. This is the Giant's Causeway, so nicknamed by the Victorian guides. The legend has it that Finn McCool, an Irish giant, built a causeway across to Scotland. But as he got over there, he saw the Scottish giant was so big that he ran back here. The Scottish giant came chasing after him triumphantly, and Finn, being a wise fellow, wrapped himself in baby's clothes and hid in a cradle. The Scottish giant saw Finn in the cradle and thought, if that's the baby, I don't want to meet the father. So he legged it back to Scotland. Well, that's the legend anyway. The truth of the matter is that this is lava that hit the sea 55 million years ago and formed into these bizarre hexagonal shapes. No one really knows why. There are 40,000 of them. It's one of the great wonders of the world. But no wonder why this is still here. Dunluce Castle, just up the road from the causeway. This has to be one of the most impregnable castles you'll come across. That would have been a drawbridge with a serious drop underneath it. And then every side of the castle thereafter, all the way round, cliffs down to the ocean, and serious cliffs. I'll show you one in a minute. There's been something here since the 13th century, although the first serious records don't start until about the 16th century, when it was the home of McQuillans. And they lost it to the MacDonalds. Yes, the Scottish MacDonalds. Here's the drop at the side. You would struggle to run up that, wouldn't you? This was the oven, a clay oven for baking the bread. This is the kitchen area, all of this, preparation area. But I want to show you one particular part of the kitchen, or at least what's left of it, because in 1639 they had a disaster. They were working away in the kitchen and it fell down there, taking the staff and the meals they were preparing with it. And as it happens, I've got cooking in the 17th century. Yes, I have, and there are some genuine menus in here, like, for example, brawn. They may have been doing that. To bake brawn, take 2 buttocks, hang them up for 2 to 3 days, then take them down, dip them into hot water, pluck off the skin, dry them very well with a clean cloth. Then, when you've done so, take the lard, cut it into pieces as big as your little finger, and season it very well with pepper, cloves, mace, nutmeg, salt, and you're getting bored, aren't you? We've only just started. There are weeks yet to go before you get that. But you must get into food, because during this trip round Northern Ireland, we are going on a serious binge. We're going to... Well, maybe not that serious a binge, but food is the order of the day. But I guess this is something of an imposing fort or castle. Dunseverick Castle. Dun actually means fort. And this was one of the 3 major forts in Ireland, right from the Iron Age, 500 BC. And it continued to have an importance for many, many centuries after that. The big families, the clans, fought over this. I was reading one of the legends, the MacDonalds, the O'Neills, the O'Carns, and the McQuillans fought a big battle here. Ooh, get the drops all around me. And there was a Norwegian called Gilles, who was furious about some of his folk being wiped out by the O'Carns, and he came here and he took off, or he was about to take off, Turlough O'Carn's sister. When Turlough came back, there was a huge fight, a big fire in the castle, and both men were burnt to death, and Turlough's sister threw herself to death over the side. Ooh. What's that then? Oh, well, here we go with the gastronomic delights. Well, yes, I know a bit about this. This, of course, is seaweed, or dulce. There you go. Big speciality round here. Absolutely beautiful. I see it now. I touch it. And the lady said what? She said it turns green when you cook it. Oh. Oh. So to Enniskillen and Blake's Bar in the Hollow. Now this place has been here since 1887, but the good news is it was renovated in 1887. Now they do a perfect pint of Guinness here, and Marius is going to show us how to do it. He will put a shamrock in the head. This is how you show that it is a perfect pint. He's under pressure, the boy, but anyway, here he goes. Oh, I love it. Look at that. Gentle ripple of applause. You take it. You're going to cherish that, are you? Or are you going to drink it? You're not going to drink it? Let me just have a look at it, because it's absolutely perfect. It shows that it is a perfect pint, and you can keep it like that all the way down the glass. Or you can just go... Right. I'm over here. Do you know, Devenish means Ox Island. So I can only assume that the island was one time inhabited by oxen. Anyway, the buildings here, the first ones, were set up by a man called Malaise, who died in the latter 6th century, something like 570. And he became a saint, Saint Malaise, because this is a monastery. Later, in the 800s, it was the thing to build monasteries on islands. Upper and Lower Loch Ern's had 30 of them, no less. This was the most important one. But unfortunately, because they were on islands, they were vulnerable to attack from the water. And there was one group of people who were really good at attacking from water, and they were the Vikings. And they came here a few times and sacked it. Later, in the 12th century, it wasn't the Vikings, but it was local feuding that caused all the problems. And in 1176, a local king's son was killed in that tower. Well, I can't know everything, and it's a really useful little booklet, isn't it? And it's a nice tower. Look at that. 1176. Imagine building anything as perfect as that. But still, it couldn't protect them. They kept themselves, the important people, and all the important documents in there. And still people got in and did away with them.